is what they told me to tell y'all, right here. Every single resident
chose to lie, implicate this man, and drag him through this experience from 2009.
The Tiffany Henyard saga's most recent developments have sparked grave worries after her attorney committed a crucial error, with the attention on her legal issues. This mistake has many wondering if Henyard will lose everything. If it proves to be a deadly one, it might mean the end of her career as we know it. Is this the last straw for Henyard, or does she still have a chance to recover from the legal blunders and other court opportunities that have damaged your case? Subscribe to the most recent news to keep informed, and then let's get started.
Not stand for me, and I want you to step down.
The mayor of Dalton, Tiffany Henyard, lashed out at her board of trustees during another tense meeting.
She vetoed the board.
Tiffany Henyard, the divisive mayor of Dalton, has startled everyone with a daring step that is even more significant this time around. She has recruited a lawyer who has been involved in some of the most notorious cases in the country. It's not about her ostentatious spending or her heated board sessions. Something far more is now at stake, along with the honor and the opportunity. Earlier this year, Tiffany Hen made the controversial choice to retain criminal defense attorney Brinley. Brinley, hired after the FBI's dispatch. As a result of his alleged participation with Henyard's principal attorney Keith Freeman, agents of the village and township are now being accused of bribery and unethical behavior, raising doubts about his integrity. The decision by Henyard to hire Brinley in spite of his contentious past could turn out to be a grave error. Due to his prior cases, which included defending R. Kelly's manager in a well-known child pornography trial, Brinley has become a divisive figure in the legal community, and his legal tactics have drawn harsh criticism. Furthermore, he has been accused of wrongdoing on several occasions, which raises questions about the potential impact he could have on Henyard's already precarious career. Bryce's standing is tainted by his participation in well-known criminal defense cases, raising concerns about his moral limits and his support of those charged with grave crimes, including are due to his connection with child pornography and witness tampering. Kelly's manager has a reputation for disobeying the law. The manager was spared prosecution thanks to the maneuvers, but they also drew harsh condemnation. It has been alleged that Brinley has tampered with evidence, encouraged false testimony, and bribed authorities, all of which have called into question his expertise. Tiffany's decision to recruit Brinley has only increased public attention due to his contentious career. People are now wondering what Henyard might be trying to hide or accomplish by associating with such a divisive figure. As this case develops, it becomes evident that Tiffany Henyard's choice to hire Brinley as her criminal defense attorney could have far-reaching effects. The backlash is substantial, with many people questioning whether Henyard has put her trust in the wrong person and what this could mean for her future in the legal field. The decision might define her future in the public eye because it could endanger not just her profession, but also her reputation in the legal community.
Why are you having a federal criminal lawyer sit next to you at the village board meeting? I mean, all I can say is, really? Even in Chicago?
Brinley, Tiffany Henyard's criminal defense attorney, was hired earlier this year after the FBI sent agents to the village and township. He is currently at the center of a growing controversy after he was accused of accusing Henyard's main lawyer, Keith Freeman, of bribery and unethical behavior. This has raised serious questions about his integrity and ability to operate within the law, placing his professional reputation under intense scrutiny. To make matters worse, further, given his severely damaged past, many people view Tiffany's choice to hire Brinley as potentially disastrous. This is especially true given his lengthy history of involvement in high-profile criminal cases that have drawn widespread criticism, including his representation of R. Kelly's manager in a widely reported child pornography trial, which in particular solidified Brinley's reputation as a divisive figure in the legal community. Brinley has a history of dubious legal tactics. IES and accusations of misconduct have only increased worries about his possible impact on Tiffany Hen's already precarious career. Throughout his career, Brimley has defended infamous people who were involved in serious criminal charges, building a reputation that makes it hard for anyone in the legal industry to ignore. Hen's choice to associate with such a contentious person, raising the alert. Although Tiffany is renowned for her knowledge, her relationship with Brimley, who is equally infamous for his unethical behavior, has cast serious doubt on her judgment. Many are now wondering if she made a monumental error by hiring someone with such a contentious reputation, and if this choice will have a lasting impact on her career. The situation is made even more concerning by the fact that public opinion is now questioning Tiffany because of Brimley's well-known past. Reasons: is she trying to hide something by hiring Brimley, or is she just prepared to take a huge risk by working with a lawyer who has a history of legal disputes? Public concern has grown as a result of Brinkley's defense of R. Kelly's manager, who was accused of witness tampering and involvement in child pornography. The case was extensively covered and examined, and Brinkley's legal strategies ultimately prevented the manager from being found guilty. Not without drawing harsh criticism in the process. There were severe ethical concerns regarding his methods and the viability of his legal strategy because of his tactics, which included allegations of paying authorities, encouraging false testimony, and even tampering with evidence. These disturbing claims depict the lawyer who, given Brinkley's contentious past and his willingness to bend or break the law to obtain a victory regardless of the moral or legal ramifications. History of defending well-known criminals due to allegations of legal wrongdoing and unethical conduct. Tiffany Henyard's decision to hire him has raised many questions and placed doubt on her judgment. The public is left wondering what Tiffany's real intentions are. Is she just looking for a defense attorney who is prepared to go beyond the bounds of ethics, or is there more going on here? Her decision to hire him raises more questions than answers, and the growing controversy surrounding her actions is only increasing the attention on her and her career. To make matters more complicated, Brimley's involvement in other high-profile criminal defense cases that have received widespread media attention has added to the situation's complexity. Many people are left wondering what she might be trying to hide or accomplish by bringing him into the fold. There is growing concern about how his representation of Tiffany Henyard may affect her future in the legal field if Brimley is unable to avoid the ethical and legal pitfalls that have plagued him throughout his career. What does that mean for Tiffany? Could her association with him permanently damage her professional reputation? As the case progresses, the legal community and the general public are intently monitoring how things will turn out because of the potential long-term repercussions that she may encounter. As the scandal surrounding Brimley heats up, it's becoming more and more obvious that Tiffany's decision to put her trust in such a divisive and contentious person could have long-term consequences for her career. Figure might have significant repercussions. Because of the growing criticism of her judgment and the persistent accusations against Brimley, Tiffany Henyard's choice to recruit him might be a game changer for her career. Her relationship with him could pose a significant risk to her future in the legal field. Due to Brinkley's history of being accused of wrongdoing, what started as an effort to get top-tier legal counsel is now degenerating into a public relations disaster. Ethical behavior Henyard's future appears increasingly dubious as the scenario develops, and it's becoming clear that this contentious decision could haunt Tiffany for years to come.
Robert Kelly's lawyers, Edward Jensen and Jerry Margolis, was great work.
McDavid and others knew of Kelly's contact and
Tiffany Henyard's hiring of Brimley has raised serious questions because of his controversial past and penchant for employing aggressive legal strategies. Henyard's choice of lawyers reveals a lot about her priorities when making decisions, which makes many question whether she plans to use Brimley's infamous and combative tactics to deal with her escalating legal issues or if there are other, darker reasons for her decision. This move has been widely viewed as reckless and could further harm her already precarious reputation among the local town administration and Dalton residents. Been outspoken in challenging Henyard's decision, particularly in light of Brimley's contentious past. The matter deteriorated when Henyard's former legal team, the Delgado Law Group, resigned, citing financial troubles. As a result, Henyard was left without counsel in 22 pending lawsuits, which fueled speculation that her legal problems are much more serious than she has acknowledged. The Delgado Law Group's departure is interpreted as a warning sign that there are more complicated and deeper problems within Henyard's administration that the public may not fully understand. Legal teams don't usually leave without counsel. Serious issues behind the scenes and the departure have prompted inquiries about the true nature of Brimley's current defense. Brimley's participation in village board meetings with Henyard has increased the level of concern, and his history of employing dubious legal strategies like witness manipulation and ethical transgressions has left many questioning his ability to protect Henyard's interests. There is growing concern that Brimley's aggressive tactics may not be enough to protect her in the long run. In fact, his involvement could. Following Brimley's attendance at exclusive executive sessions, which have raised concerns about potential conflicts of interest and undue influence in village affairs, speculation about Henyard's true intentions has intensified. Some have even suggested that Brimley's involvement in these meetings may be improper, especially in light of the ongoing FBI investigation into Henyard's actions. Furthermore, a municipal lawyer representing 4 trusts who oppose Henyard has publicly questioned whether Brimley's role was lawful, particularly if he was receiving payment with public funds. Norwood, according to the municipal lawyer, such a deal might be illegal and could make Henyard's already precarious situation worse. The growing controversy surrounding Henyard's legal decisions and her relationship with Brimley will cast a long shadow over her tenure as mayor, which is already fraught with scandal and moral dilemmas. One of Henyard's most serious accusations is financial management. Detractors claim she has mismanaged public monies, which has resulted in a deterioration of confidence in her capacity to guide. These widespread suspicion has resulted from financial charges that have raised questions about her integrity and her duty as a public servant. Investigations are now centered on her financial transactions in an effort to find any possible malfeasance. Her already precarious position as mayor has become even more tense as a result of the accusations of financial mismanagement, her ongoing legal troubles, and ethical issues surrounding her administration. Grow increasingly more vulnerable. It is unclear to the public if her legal and political struggles will ultimately result in her demise. Who may have exacerbated these worries by hiring Brimley, a lawyer with such a controversial past, which raises more doubts about her judgment and her genuine motivations. The circumstances are still developing, and it is unclear how Henyard will handle these legal and political obstacles, but one thing is certain: her time as mayor is now being closely watched, and the decisions she makes might have a significant impact on her career and reputation. It's unclear if she will be able to overcome these growing obstacles, but the criticism surrounding her conduct is only becoming worse. How she responds to this increasingly complicated and public problem will have a significant impact on her future in office and in politics.
Others agreed to pay money and cause money to be paid on Kelly's behalf to victims, witnesses, and others.
They did the right thing.
$250,000 to a minor to return a tape. $170,000 to cancel a press conference.
And this jury has exonerated Daryl McDavid and
In recent months, the administration of Tiffany Henyard has been under severe scrutiny for its flagrant contempt for state transparency laws, especially for not disclosing spending information as ordered by the Illinois Attorney General's office. This lack of attention has caused grave questions over the degree of openness in her administration, particularly as Henyard and her staff first opposed requests to make the required records public, only strengthened suspicions that something was being kept from the public. The truth was eventually revealed when a well-known news organization filed a lawsuit in Cook County Circuit Court to force the records to be released. In response, a judge ordered the Henyard's administration to make a large number of documents available, including credit card statements that showed extremely concerning expenses. These revelations have caused outrage among. The most startling revelation was a 5-day trip to Austin, Texas in July 2023, during which Henyard's top official, Keith Freeman, and 3 other township officials spent over $220,000 of taxpayer funds. The lab expenses included first-class flights, luxurious hotel rooms, lavish meals, and even a personal shopping spree. Among the receipts that surfaced were astounding charges like $389 at Creole Roots, $1,619 for a stay at the opulent Fairmont Austin Hotel, and $53 for what seemed to be sports-related clothing were all extravagant expenses that were not required for public service, and they have left locals furious and wondering whether such extravagant spending on taxpayer money is appropriate. In intimate connection with these dubious financial choices is Keith Freeman, Henyard's trusted advisor, who even went so far as to meddle when there were concerns. Concerns regarding how the administration was managing its finances increased as requests for a federal investigation into Henyard's spending intensified. The extravagant nature of the expenditures became evident, yet the spending binge continued. Together with the $220,000 that was spent on the trip to Austin. In addition, Hamer's administration collected an additional $275 at Target, Walmart, and Amazon, among other dubious fees, including $4,400 for Uber Eats, $120 for local restaurants, $59 at Walgreens, and then residents' worries regarding Henyard's leadership and financial stewardship are further heightened by the shocking $3,491 paid to a personal photographer. Many believe that the misappropriation of public monies for private indulgences is a flagrant breach of the public trust. Infuriating the public and fueling ongoing investigations, Henyard parents' misuse of public monies for private indulgences like luxury vacations, private security, and even hairstylist expenses was the subject of a second probe in January. Showed further lavish spending, including more than $67,000 spent on out-of-town shopping and trips using township credit cards in the first 5 months of 2023. Nevertheless, this wasn't the most concerning discovery. When Dalton's credit card bills were examined more closely, multiple payments for trips to upscale locations, including New York, Atlanta, and Portland, were found, underscoring the potential misappropriation of public funds by Henyard and her oversight as the financial disparities continue to be discovered. Both locals and political opponents are demanding more investigation and accountability due to the substantial amount of the expenditures, as well as the total lack of transparency and accountability, which has led to serious concerns about Hen's judgment and whether she has been abusing her position for personal gain. During her time as Mayorette, the increasing demand on Henyard to justify these expenses has emerged as a defining concern. There are more disputes involving the Henyard administration. For a number of years, Keith Freeman has been a trusted advisor and top aide to Henyard, managing activities in Doran Township and Dalton. Freeman has been involved in running interference when problems and records surfaced, adding to the already escalating financial scandal. However, things took a turn for the worse when recently found paperwork showed that Henyard had rented 3 luxury SUVs for his own usage at a cost reaching $374. When questioned about the cost of her lavish travels, Henyard denied responsibility, claiming she had nothing to do with the credit card transactions, despite ample evidence showing she was responsible for the costly expenditures. As the village's financial situation worsens, public opinion of Henyard's leadership has only gotten worse, further exposing more questionable spending patterns by the team. Economic calls for greater transparency have resulted from caution, especially in relation to unresolved licensing issues that have forced the closure of many local businesses, including Lauren Gardner Trucking Company. Although Gardner won a case in his favor and denies charges of selling alcohol without a license, he believes the action against him may have been motivated by covert ambitions. He claims that entrepreneurs were pressured to give the village $3,500 when Henyard assumed office, raising additional questions about the administration's moral character. Henyard's portrayal has not improved as a result of these mounting criticisms. At a village board meeting, she rejected the criticism, claiming that the public only knew one side of the story and that her administration was unfairly targeted. Despite her efforts to deflect criticism, many people are doubting her leadership skills, especially since her administration continues to severe financial mismanagement, which included a $2 million deficit at Village Hall. This situation was eventually shown to be much worse than first reported. Henyard has been publicly criticized by former trustee Edward Steve, who claims that she has used her position of authority to stifle her critics. Thea Stubbs, a former village trustee, is a great example. She had publicly criticized Henyard Stubbs, and a hitman allegedly targeted her, damaging her automobile. Henyard apparently did this on purpose. Forged relationships with law enforcement to guarantee that any complaints against her would be ignored because, as if the political and financial scandals weren't enough, Henyard is now involved in a much more serious and disturbing matter. In a civil case filed against her in April 2024, her former assistant named a village trustee as a defendant and accused her of sexually assaulting him while on a business trip in Las Vegas. The assistant asserts that the trustee assaulted her after dinner during the trip. She claims that she was experiencing physical discomfort and that she didn't remember how she got into the trustee's hotel room when she woke up the following morning. Officer Byron Miles, a member of Hen's $1 million security team, also filed a second complaint, claiming that the trustee had threatened him during a FaceTime chat that evening. Miles claims that the trustee boasted about the assault and displayed the assistant in a compromising position in spite of these significant charges. Henyard allegedly promised to act after the assistant and Miles reported the incident, but instead of acting, she allegedly put the assistant on unpaid medical leave without getting her consent, effectively silencing her and igniting public outrage. The trustee in question has denied the accusations, arguing that he was only trying to assist the assistant, whom he believed to be intoxicated, but the evidence says otherwise. A far harsher image is painted by the FaceTime call, as many people are questioning Henyard's unwillingness to support her colleagues in the face of such serious charges. This has further intensified calls for her resignation, making the situation worse. Hen's choice to choose Bo Brinley as her lawyer in the middle of all of these problems has sparked more worries. Many people find it strange that Brinkley was appointed as a public official who was already under close examination because of his contentious past, which includes his involvement with defending R. Kelly's manager, has raised more questions about Henyard's judgment, particularly in light of the high stakes for her political future. Brinkley's history of dubious legal tactics has only strengthened worries about the course the Henyard administration is taking, particularly as her legal and political issues continue to escalate. Given the growing controversies, it's hardly surprising that many people are now questioning whether Henyard made a critical error in her tenure as mayor seems to be in jeopardy, as numerous criticisms of her leadership, ranging from financial mismanagement and ethical violations to serious criminal charges, have led many to wonder if this will mark the end of her political career. Adding Brinley to her legal team has further fueled the fire as the scandals continue to surface. Bringing Brinley's reputation and recent transgressions have further damaged her reputation down to unprecedented lows. Although it is unclear if she will weather the storm, it is obvious that her decisions could have a significant impact on both her professional reputation and the future of the town she represents.